This is the host with mysterious disappearances. Every year in the United States, thousands of people vanish without a trace. Some are found safe and sound years later, while others, tragically, turn up dead. But what happens when someone goes missing and their body is never recovered? What secrets might their remains be hiding? Let's find out. Before we get into this week's case, I just want to take a moment to ask you all for a favor. My goal is to reach a larger audience so that we can spread awareness about unsolved missing person cases. So if you could do me a big favor and click that share button down below, it would really help us reach more people. Thank you. In 2014, 35-year-old Brandon Lawson moved to Colorado from his native Florida seeking a fresh start. He had recently gotten engaged to his girlfriend of 2 years, Tiffany, and was looking forward to starting a family with her. But within just a few months of arriving in his new home, Brandon vanished without a trace. On April 19, 2014, Brandon sent some money via Western Union to his ex-wife, claiming he wanted to buy some items for their son. But when the money arrived, she noticed it was far more than what they had requested. Concerned something was wrong, she called Brandon's fiancée, Tiffany, but she said she hadn't heard from him in several days. Brandon's family hadn't heard from him either, which wasn't like him, since he was usually very communicative. Something was definitely off, so Brandon's sister, Candace, took matters into her own hands. She drove to his house to check on him. When she got there, she noticed his car was missing, and his wallet, cell phone, and keys were still inside the house. The front door was also locked, which was strange because Brandon always kept it locked. Candace called the police, but the only thing they could tell her was that her brother had not been listed as missing by his fiancée or anyone else. She knew the police would not take any action until 24 hours had passed since he was last seen. So she started her own search, driving around town looking for him. But after several hours, she still couldn't find him. So she went back to the house to wait for the authorities to come and do a welfare check. Meanwhile, Brandon's fiancée, Tiffany, was frantically calling everyone she knew, desperate to find him. Eventually, she reached out to Brandon's ex-wife, who put her in touch with Candace. The two women waited together at Brandon's house for news, but it soon became clear that no one was coming. And that's when Candace made a grisly discovery. Inside one of Brandon's drawers, she found blood. Lots of blood. When the police finally arrived, they collected DNA samples from the scene and entered them into a national database. But it was unteamed until 2 years later that the results came back, and even then, they were inconclusive. All they could say was that the blood was definitely Brandon's. They didn't see any signs of forced entry at the house, but they also didn't find anything that suggested he left voluntarily either. His car was still missing, and neither his fiancée nor his family had heard from him. The police believed he may have been the victim of foul play, but they had no suspects and no body, so the case went cold. What happened to Brandon Lawson? Did his fiancée kill him and dispose of his body? Or was he abducted by a stranger? Maybe he was involved in some kind of accident. There are so many unanswered questions in this case, it's hard to know where to start. I hope they be able to find some answers soon, because I am sure his family deserves to know what happened to him. Now, it's time to make your voice heard. Comment below with your thoughts on this case. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and join our ever-growing community. I'll see you next time.